Well, Austrian economists have a theory that explains the business cycle that is different from the way most Keynesians or monetarists would look at it. The standard conventional wisdom is that the business cycle is just some natural phenomena that exists within a free market. It's just part of capitalism, and it's an unfortunate part. We have booms and busts. There's no real explanation for it. Maybe it's greed, irrational exuberance, and that it's up to the government to use monetary and fiscal policy to try to fight the recessions and stimulate the economy back to expansion. The Austrians have an alternative view. They don't look at the business cycle as a natural byproduct of a free market. They look at it as the consequence of government manipulation of the money supply and interest rates. The Austrian explanation is that when the central bank keeps interest rates artificially low, right, below where the free market would have set them, you end up sending false signals to the productive segments of the economy, and you get what Mises called malinvestments. You get capital misallocated based on the artificial signals sent by rates being too low. Because in a free market, the only way that interest rates would go down would be if there was an increase in savings, and if consumers had a preference to spend their money in the future rather than today, and so they saved their money, and now there's more money available to finance capital investments for long-term productive purposes. But when the Federal Reserve artificially lowers interest rates without an increase in savings or a change in the time preferences, the market mistakenly allocates capital as if savings had increased when it hadn't. And you get all these mistakes that are made, and ultimately, when there's a bust, it's when the market tries to liquidate these malinvestments and put the factors of production back into a more sustainable allocation, and so then you have the bust. And so in reality, the mistakes are all made during the boom. The boom is the bad part. The bust is when the market corrects those mistakes and restores balance to the economy. Unfortunately, the conventional wisdom is that the bust must be resisted with stimulus. But all that really does is interfere with the corrective process. It exacerbates the underlying problems that led to the boom and ultimately sows the seeds of the next bust.